Why? Why would you buy cable from a reputable distributor like ourselves? Hopefully you think that of us. And further, why buy cable from a reputable domestic manufacturer? There are a number of options out there. The one we lead with is CommScope, Hubbell, Belden's out there, Berktech is out there, Essex. There's Proterials, formerly known as Hitachi. All these guys make cable here in the United States. When I talk cable, I'm talking about network cable right now. Obviously, there's thousands types of cables out there, but so why? Why buy from those instead of what really looks like a great deal on the internet? Well, I bought one of those great deals on the internet just for the sake of having a conversation about it. And you'll see in these clips, the box is impressive looking. It says everything that you want it to say, with one little exception. This particular box does not have the simple little words of UL, Underwriters Laboratories. Doesn't have ETL on it either, Electronic Testing Laboratories. Both of those companies are national testing laboratories. Both of those companies are certified to test to previously written standards such as UL 444, which is a flammability test. Well, why do we care about that? Well, because if you're putting cables into your commercial space, or you're responsible for doing so, you're creating a safe space or maybe not so safe. And if your product is not listed by UL or ETL to pass a UL test, plenum test in this conversation, well, what you're doing potentially is installing candle wicks in your halls. And so we've got a little short video of a flame test that Cody and I did in the back of our warehouse. Completely safe. No one was harmed in this testing, but it illustrates the difference between a product that is actually UL listed and one that is not. So let's do a burn test first of the UL product. We'll run it for 15 seconds. Goes out. So let's reset. And now this will be the non-UL product. 15 seconds. Oop. The biggest, most important aspect is this UL or ETL. It has to pass these tests for fire ratings. If it's not, it's specifically illegal. You cannot put it into a building, a commercial building in the United States, because they all require that it's a National Electric Code compliance, which means it's got to be UL listed or ETL listed. If it doesn't say UL or ETL in a box, don't buy it. There's standards that have been created so that your Ethernet PC is going to talk to somebody else's Ethernet switch, and they're going to speak the same language, and they're going to send signals back and forth so that they know how to communicate with each other. Well, that's based on the standards. Most of those standards, or a lot of them, were created by EA or TIA. There's links below for both of these associations, but they're the ones who set the parameters. How much loss can you have? How much crosstalk can you have? How much far end crosstalk can you have? All of those things. And then there's the manufacturers that build to those specs. Well, if you're a manufacturer and you're building to the spec, you'll want to have somebody verify it, an independent laboratory like UL or ETL, who come in and will actually test your cables and ensure that they pass. And they'll do spot checks with manufacturers called follow-up programs to make sure they continue to pass. So this is reassurance for you when you buy a box of cable from somebody, have it installed, that you're getting what you pay for. You cannot possibly get that Well, you can possibly get it, but I haven't seen much evidence of it when you're bringing cables in from Asia. We've got a very lovely box here of a Category 6 cable, and it says it passes Cat 6. Well, it says it up to 219 feet, which is not standards compliant. So there's a lot of claims that are out there, and they make them look really snazzy on the box, but you do get what you pay for. And if you buy from a reputable contractor, who buys from a reputable distributor, who buys from reputable manufacturers, you're safe. You're going to get a cable system in your building that you're going to rely on. And that's why you buy a cable system. It's not just to see the lights blinking on, it's so that you can communicate and get stuff done. Some of the indicators that you can pay attention to when you're buying a cable is how is it constructed? How is the box constructed? How is the cable constructed? We'll talk about this one particular box that we bought as an import. It says it's got solid conductors. So I was led to believe, well, solid copper conductors, just like all of our other Cat 6 cables. Not the case. If you look in the really fine print, it's CCA, copper clad aluminum. So what that enables them to do is use cheaper materials, saves a little bit of weight, so they save on shipping costs, but what it costs you is the ability to transmit power on this same cable. Aluminum is a conductor. It's not as good a conductor as copper is. So that's why we use solid copper conductors when we're using a network cable or building a network cable. It does not just communicate the signals, but it also carries the power. And today we're using more and more power over Ethernet, and some of it's getting into the 90 watt area for a heated camera or with PTZ or something like that, and more. You're going to rely more on delivery of power than you have in the past, so do not restrict yourself and cause some sort of heat problems by using copper clad aluminum. These will not pass a Cat 6 test under POE, and you're just setting yourself up for a future failure. They generate more heat because there's more resistance. So if you get a big bundle of them, now you're really starting to cause some issues with temperature, thermal rise that could potentially cause you some fire damage. So just check out the box, check out what this stuff is made for. You also see in the construction of the box, they typically use a very skinny throat to pull the cable out. So whoever's pulling the cable for you is going to struggle with that versus some of the other quality manufacturers who know how to build a winded system using a Relex with a big throat so that it pays out without tangles. So, and remember, if you kink a category cable, you've just ruined it because you've changed the geometric alignment of those pairs. You can't just straighten it out and hope. You can do it, but hope for the best is not necessarily a great plan. So anyways, buy from reputable sources. You'll have a lot less problems. I hope this helps you. If you get any sort of questions, we'd love to help you at Capital Electric.